Richard Dawkins in Dublin, and so I'm thinking about things
I
like
want to hear about that.
He's competent like a virus. It's not something that he sits and plans carefully. It's all about, there are people who don't like me and I'm going to get them. And if you change the Republican Party, he's a virus.
I could understand you saying that in 2015, 2016. I don't understand you saying that in 2024. I don't get it. He is this pathological thing. He's not what he actually is, which is a historic figure. Warts and all.
He is a wart.
We will agree to disagree about Donald J. Trump. You will continue to live in your fantasy land. And meanwhile, the actual political history of the country will be written while you stand aghast, agape,
that is actually
bewildered.
Quite true. Yeah.
I'm recording this, my bi-weekly podcast, and it's about two friends. They are discussing the recent Trump win in the US election. And both of them are intellectuals. They are both lecturers in universities in the United States. And listen carefully to how they discuss this Trump win. And please leave your comments. And like, share, and subscribe. It's good to hear when two intellectuals they are having an, how I will call it now, a very interesting communication, both of them. Then these are the type of people you can actually discuss serious issues without even getting angry. You can laugh at it and still be friends. So without further ado, let me get on with this recording. So here their discussion.
This conversation for posterity's sake. I will revisit it often in the future.
So Glenn,
I feel a certain excitement, to be honest with you, a certain sense of anticipation. Yeah, I think something really important is happening.
Of what?
Of the reshaping of the political landscape, of the perhaps emergence of a working class center-right governing majority, working class oriented center-right governing majority in the country, of the defenestration of Nancy Pelosi-ism, Democrat, of coastal elite, smug, woke, you know. As I said here when we talked about this briefly before, I think the whole conversation on race, diversity, and justice looks differently. I don't think a summer of 2020 sparked by the George Floyds and the Jacob Blakes and so forth of the world would go down nearly the same way. Ukraine is going to look a lot different going forward. I think Republican-tinged domestic policy on questions like taxes and so on, the immigration issue is going to look very different. So on action with this move. I'm happy to see the Republicans in control of Congress. We'll see. We'll see what they make of it. They can mess it up, sure. Kamala Harris, what are you proud of that they accomplished?
Biden did all sorts of unexciting but very important things for the good of the nation in terms of, preparing to take care of our infrastructure, for example. There was a minor Great Society that was beginning to happen under Biden that they didn't market well enough, and or it would never seem as dramatic as pretending that we need to make the country great again by deporting tens of thousands of people.
You've heard me talk about ground news. It's the web, or you may.
And if I may, sometimes people ask me this, like, out in the street. And I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you this with complete respect, not to mention awe, but still. what you just said about being excited that Republicans, these Republicans, not Nelson Rockefeller, these Republicans are going to be, it's not even George W. Bush, these Republicans are going to be running the country for the next 4 years, and you're excited. I have to be careful how I ask this, but I really think it's constructive. Are you saying that because you truly believe it? Or are you saying it because it's important to be a contrarian? And maybe even, if I may, Glenn, because you're telling me that I'm saying these things because it feels good, my things, maybe because it feels good to be a contrarian. It's a genuine question.
I don't take offense at the question. It's fair enough.
I'm glad.
And I am aware of my tendency to rush to the contrarian stance because, quote unquote, it feels good. But I've had it up to here with the Democrats. The Democratic Party is not my party, not by a long shot. You know what I thought about Obama? Kamala Harris as the candidate, she was an empty suit, in my opinion. She was a DEI vice president appointed by Biden who promised the country he was going to make a black, and then elevated to the position of his replacement candidate by the force of the argument that you can't do that to a black woman since she's the natural person standing in line, and etc.
You said what all of us have been saying.
I resented her being foisted on us. I resented being lectured. I identify with the people, the populist spirit, that this insurgency, and that's what it is in my opinion, it's a political insurgency. It's broadly gauged. It's a lot of people, not the tiki torch burning, pointy hat wearing racist or whatever, and not the idiots and incompetents that you seem to want to trumpet. This is a broadly based grassroots insurgency of people who are tired with a certain kind of complacent, entitled presumption that the Obamas personified. Did you hear those speeches that they gave during the campaign? Those people have been sent packing, and I'm glad they've been sent packing. And I am viewing with a cautious anticipation the dawning of a new era in American politics. That's a good thing. It's Reagan-esque. Morning in America, 1980 2.0. And let's see what happens. But the ground is now fertile for something different to emerge. And I'm excited at the prospect that we're going to get a different kind of leadership and a different set of leaders, a governing class. I like J.D. Vance. I like him. He's the heir apparent. He's who you're going to have to face off against in 2028.
He won't win.
Did you see the Democrats?
Yeah.
Who are you going to put up against Gretchen Whitmer?
There has to be
Gavin Newsom?
No, it would have to be somebody who comes out of nowhere like Obama did, and that's a challenge. There could be a Republican who had.
Of course, it depends on what happens in the next 4 years. If you get a repeat of the Biden fiasco, no, it won't be so good for him. If you get Morning in America 2.0, different story altogether.
I mean, you have a.
Are you hoping he fails?
What?
Let me ask you a question. Are you hoping that the President of the United States and his government fail so that you can say, I told you so?
Fail.
Drive inflation through the roof, bankrupt the government, start wars that you can't finish.
This would not make me feel good because it's not a TV show, it's our actual lives, but
precisely.
If it were a catastrophe, like let's say that the tariffs, if laid down rather transparently, make eggs cost a whole lot than they cost.
I think they're a very bad idea. I'm not signing on to everything that
Right. I know I would expect, but if it were a complete disaster, it might teach. Now you're going to think I'm being this condescending person standing in front of the Capitol making some modern Democrat Obama speech, but it might teach the populace to be a little more careful in who you vote for and to listen a little more closely to what they say they're going to do and how it might affect you. Yeah, I would think that. But I'm not wishing that because it would hurt them more than it would hurt me. You know, if inflation happens, I'm in a position where unless something, unless we're talking about Weimar Germany, I'm fine. But these are people who would really be suffering. I don't want that to happen. You know, I mean, Glenn, you're right that Kamala Harris, got dragged into something. Yes, it was DEI that made her the vice president at all. I never liked watching her standing there with her husband smiling with the Bidens back in the beginning. I was thinking, why her? What's going on? And she had some good moments out there, but she has limited charisma of the kind that makes things happen in our modern era where so much is about social media. And if you think about it, a Harris presidency, how much was really going to happen? How much was she going to make happen on the basis of connections and people power and carrying a sense of significance about her, even less than Obama? It would have been kind of a caretaker presidency. She may not have won again. I think that's safe to say. Like the Reagan presidency, and I was, no fan, but, just off of the book whose author became the wrong author when I talked about it. It wasn't George Will, it was Max Boot. I don't know why I mixed up those two people. But there was a Reagan presidency. For 8 years, you have to, there was a mood he created. There was a sense of forward motion. He had something. Kamala Harris would never have had that. So, yes, this is all going to be more interesting, but I'm sorry. I do believe that President Trump is a complete idiot. Reagan was not. He was no professor, but he did the work. This guy doesn't.
This idiot pulled off a virtually unprecedented comeback from the political graveyard. This idiot actually won a landslide election that practically nobody saw coming. This idiot took control of a major public political party and has reshaped it in its own image. This idiot is probably setting the stage for the next decade or more of American public life.
Attention.
He's so successful, if he's so stupid, how can he be so successful?
It was an accident because he has unique charisma in the era of social media.
That's delusional. With respect,
talk about black swans. If by chance his idiocy and charisma boils down to some good things getting done, including good things getting done for the suffering working class, and if the result of all this mainly is that we have this rainbow working class, quote unquote, coalition, yeah, I get that.
Now you're talking. That's one of the things that I'm excited may come to pass.
Mm-hmm. And I also liked seeing so many Black and Latino people voting for him, despite the fact that it's rather clear that he wouldn't like them very much. I found that intelligent. That's good. That's the way things should go. You do not withdraw your vote from somebody because, he's a racist. I agree with you about that sort of thing. That's not how human affairs works. That's not how voting in a diverse society works. I like that so many Black people in particular are past that kind of Puritanism, and I liked. So there's something that I'm not agape about.
Well, something we can agree about.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about Ireland.
Well, I have to end it here. You've heard most of what I wanted you to hear, how they discuss this Trump win. Please like, share, leave your comment for me. Do not forget to subscribe. I love you.